Hello everybody, this is part 2 of our Q&A. We actually filmed this Q&A earlier, but somebody's family member came in and we cannot edit this out because the storage will not support it and a few other things happened. So we're filming now and it's later. I'm not very happy today, but you know what, we're just gonna get into it. Yeah, I'm Sarah Twilight. This is Louise Taylor. We own Bookish Productions. And for those of you who weren't there for our former Q&A, our part 1, this is a live. We need 50 subscribers to do a portable live, and we decided just to film it raw, no editing, and just upload it as our live.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote. Live.
Alright. Where were we?
You highlighted everything because we did this before.
I did highlight everything.
You poor unfortunate soul.
We did that one.
Well, we did all of
We
them.
did that one.
We did all of them, but then
We
we
did
have to
all
redo
of reading?
them. We did everything, and now we have to
No,
redo
no.
it.
Last video we did.
Favorite books and why you... Least favorite books and why you hated them. Have you ever read...
We did that one, I remember.
Least favorite books. We didn't do this one, though.
I thought we did.
We did this earlier today. I'm gonna pause this real quick. Okay, so we are confused because she's tired, and we did this earlier, so everything's highlighted. Isn't it beautiful? Anyway, so if we repeat a question or two, it's fine. You like our voices. Okay, so least favorite books and why you hated them.
I really didn't like The Death Cure. Because Thomas just got on my nerves. It's the home stretch. And we almost made it. I couldn't finish it because
You gotta finish it because they're making a sequel series, so
It's true.
you're gonna be kind of confused. You're gonna be like, wait, what?
I mean, I could probably figure it out, but
Well, it's a really nice ending for a dystopia. It's
nice ending.
I like it because it's different from other dystopias I've come across. I think it's very creative. Anyway, for me, one of them is book 2 in the selection series, which was annoying because of the love triangle. I like that series, but oh my gosh, the love triangle. I literally called Louise up one time just to rant about how much I was so annoyed by the main character and the love triangle, which, yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, hype up a bit. Hype up a bit. Oh my gosh, she's dead inside.
Not
You need to hype up again. Okay. Okay, so are we gonna bounce around or we're just gonna...
No, we just finished reading.
Okay. Have you ever read manga, Japanese comic book? If so, which is your favorite? Also, what's your favorite novel series, and why? Okay, we've already done favorite series joke. This must have been by a different person, but manga, actually, a few hours ago, I finished my first manga ever. Some of you who've been watching this channel, I actually recently did a book haul where I went to a library. I actually got a manga, the first in a series. It has 4 volumes. It's called Maru Pari. Anyway, I like it. I'm gonna get into it more. I want to get more into graphic novels and comics and the like, since I want to do stuff like that. So you'll learn writing by reading lots of books. You'll learn graphicing, noveling by reading lots of graphic novels. Sorry, I just heard.
You can really
a
see
noise.
the whites of your eyes there. Because the light is just glaring on anything that's white. I got a big circle in the middle of my shirt. You got
Yes,
this white paint.
Yeah, pretty. We're so gleamy. Have you ever read manga? Oh wait, never mind. There's 2 questions.
You just read the last one there.
Why is there... Okay, top 3 favorite fantasy novels. This is hard because there are different genres of fantasy. There's urban fantasy and there's epic fantasy. So that's hard. I think I'll just do for epic fantasy, I loved dang it, now I'm gonna yawn because you yawned.
I was yawning earlier too in our other video. I don't know why.
She's been tired this whole time. I don't know if I just drained the energy out of her. Anyway, so I loved Six Crimson Cranes. Was an amazing fantasy. In my opinion, I read it more recently. I can't wait to read the other books. I'd say Lord of the Rings, but that's like 3 books, so I'm gonna stray away from there and actually do other books because I'm obsessed with J.R.R. Tolkien. I also loved The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. Was a good epic fantasy. I'm gonna pause it real quick. Sorry, just some noises and I was getting tense and yeah. Anyway, so I also for third I'll say The Bone Houses. That was a pretty good one in my opinion. For urban fantasy, definitely Artemis Fowl is amazing. Better than the movie. I will not even watch the movie. Percy Jackson, classic. Fablehaven. Fablehaven technically counts as one. What about you, Louise?
Fantasy novels that I've read. Does Lunar Chronicles count? That's like
no,
urban
that's sci-fi.
fantasy.
That is not fantasy. Blah, 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 blah. That is not fantasy at all, my darling.
Okay, definitely the Green Ember series. That was a really good one. I can't see any books, so I'm like lost. The Green Ember series, On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness was really good.
Oh yeah, that's fantasy.
Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh, classic.
The Giver.
That's dystopian.
That's dystopian.
Yeah. She's getting her genres all blended together.
Genre blending is my specialty.
Okay, can we move on? Okay, how long have you been writing? Oh, we already did this one. Sorry, I'm confused. Okay,
likable
motivation.
characters.
How do you write likable characters, especially protagonists? Make them relatable, I guess. Make them funny. Have their interactions be funny. Just make them good people. Because they're like protagonists I've read that are not really good people. They're kind of morally messed up. And I'm like, why do people like you?
Why do I like you? No. I'd probably say, I don't know. Just make them seem like people that you're going to come across every day on the street. I find my most powerful characters are the ones that my main characters just walk by, and you actually invest time in describing either the way that character spoke to them, the way the character, looked, or what that character did. That main character just crossed them just for that one moment, and yet that character can become very dynamic and very likable just because they're like another person that you just walked past. Like they're just a person.
Never thought of that, but that's a really cool thought, I must say. Another thing is sometimes it's hard to like get into your characters, like the style the character thinks, and like I remember for my work in progress now, it like took me a chapter or two and then it like clicked and I was just writing smoothly. Cause a good example of a very cool like protagonist is Percy Jackson and the writing style for that. And just make them relatable, make them funny, and let's move on to the next question. Stay awake. Stay awake. Don't stop me. Don't. Okay. How do you know when you need to add another character or drop another character when writing a novel?
Whenever you're like blocking my face. I feel like I can't see the glare of my glasses. I feel like I add a character. Like, I never really know when to add a character. The character just comes. The character's like, I'm here.
Yeah, you just
write me. And I'm like, okay. And they end up, like, stealing the entire novel. That's how my protagonist happened. He was just, like, there. And I was like, okay. And then he was just like, I want to be the main character. And I was like, okay.
Like, whatever you say, he's like, I'll kill you with a knife. And you're like, okay, anyway, I never really thought of that, actually. I just have my, like, notes. I know what I'm going to do. And I'm just in the moment. Some of my, like, characters who have become very important characters, even become main character status, they were just going to be, like, there for maybe a chapter or two. And they just ended up, like, staying because they grew on me.
Yeah. That was Lance. He was just, like, there.
Oh, yeah.
Literally. The sentence before, I didn't know. And then, like, the next sentence, I was like, oh, let's throw a kid in here and see what happens.
Imagine if that was, like, the answer to all life's problems. Like, there's like a cabinet meeting for the president, and someone's like, this is boring. Let's just throw a kid in here.
Throw a kid in here.
Just get a
Problem
kid.
solved.
Just throw a kid in here.
Yeah.
Let's see what a 5-year-old's going to say to our president or whatever. Who's going to say something, but we're not going to get political. I'm going to get canceled on TikTok. I'm just kidding.
Not on TikTok.
Good. Amen. Okay, how do you name your characters and places?
I make up names and then find out that there are real people with those names that I thought I made up.
I didn't know Levi was a real name.
I knew that was a real name.
For me, I collect names. I love names. So it depends on the character. For instance, if it's like, say if I like, hey, write that down.
I'm writing it down.
You can do whatever you want with it. Okay, so for me, I have a whole Pinterest board full of names. I love looking through names, and it depends on the character. Like, I usually think about where they're from. Like, say if this character, their parents are like Japanese, like they're immigrants from Japan. They might have, like, I might give them a Japanese name just because, like, of their heritage. So I'll look. Sometimes I also like to name characters depending on what the meaning of the name is. And I'll do that. Sometimes the name I'll just like a name. And I've made up names and I've had to, like, give explanations why the character has that name. The reason I just put that name in there is because I just liked it, and now I have to figure out an explanation. But as for places, it's hard to think about because a lot of what I write is like urban fantasy or like set in this world or like in a dystopian setting, and those are easy to name in my opinion because they're set in like this world. But it's
or even like a friend told me that Ruth used to be an Irish boy's name, so I was like, I'm gonna name a character Ruth, and he's gonna be a guy. And, like, I just have a whole new character now. Like, she just mentioned it casually. Oh,
yeah.
in Ireland this many years ago.
I made up a whole book idea of series after I misspelled them. And, no, it wasn't my fault. My finger slipped, and the word yim came. I'm like, that would be a cool name. So then I'm like, I should, like, make something out of that. And I did.
Sometimes you need a name for a character. Sometimes you need a character for a name.
Yeah, exactly. One time when I come up with last names, sometimes I just think about my friends' last names and I'm like scrolling through like I just need one real quick. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Can I borrow your last name?
Real quick.
For really long.
Can I steal your last name? Sorry. Why am I saying sorry for that? How do you deal with writer's block? I just stop writing and then I write later when I feel more motivated to.
Usually I get lost looking for like old scenes that I've written, and like I read them and then I enjoy them and then I wonder why I stopped writing them and then I go to write those scenes. So it's just like a lot of bouncing around whenever I have writer's block. Just enjoying reading what I've written, I guess.
Yeah. I'll just get motivation later. Sometimes you can go fight through it, but sometimes you just need a snack. Why do you write? Because I want to write. Oh, I skipped a question, but you know what? I skipped several questions. But we'll just answer this. Why do you write? Because I like to write, and I have stories inside me, and most of them need to be written down.
Most of them.
Some of them are for me, and only me. But I just like writing. This is a talent that I have, and I just can't keep it to myself. What about you, Louise? What is your motivation? Was it me? Just kidding. Go on.
No, I decided I needed a career. So I was like, hey, I should write a book because I loved reading. So that's actually why I started writing. And
oh yeah, How do you develop believable characters? Just make them relatable. I don't know, just add humor, make their own like
steal a personality from somebody.
Yeah. Or like even a character you like. You can like I've had characters that were based off of either people or a character I've liked from a book or a movie. And then I noticed, like, over time, though, they just turn into their own character.
Yeah.
It's weird.
No, it's true. It's like you cannot write a true to form person. You cannot transfer them into a book and then, like, not start to develop other things. It's like you've taken everything you've noticed, every little thing you've noticed from everybody you've ever met, and you just, like, randomly assigning them to your characters, and it gives your characters this unique personality.
Mm-hmm.
And...
yeah, definitely do that. That's why so many authors really start in fan fiction, because you know you're already writing characters you love. Sometimes that's just a little push. One of my book ideas actually came from an Avengers like Next Generation fan fiction. You remember I was telling you about that?
I remember.
Yeah, and I made a whole different like epic fantasy off of that, and it was really cool. Okay, next character. What motivates you to write? For me, it's when I'm watching like videos of authors like talking about like the books
when
they've
other
written,
people
or like
talk
that
about writing.
I want to write. I want to be that.
It's like vacation. Like people are like,
Yeah.
I'm on vacation. I don't want to go on vacation. Suddenly motivated to go on vacation.
Yeah, or sometimes books like if they have a certain feel for like the book I'm writing and they like get me inspired, then I'll be like, oh right. Sometimes I'm just in the mood to write. I can't explain it.
Yeah, you just like, oh, it's raining outside. I need to go write. Definitely.
Okay, so where do you see yourself in 10 years in your writing journey?
Published 100 books on the shelf.
A whole bookshelf.
Every book on my desk will be replaced with one of my own. Now that's a little lofty, but definitely published.
Is that lighting? A girl could dream.
Probably is.
For me, I want to have published the book I'm doing now, this trilogy I have in the progress, a few one-offs, maybe some graphic novels and like or webtoons, something like that. I would like to have expanded this channel more, get more of a following, maybe even one day make money off this. Just
doing what you love. What
yeah.
you do.
I have lots of other plans in life, but I feel like I will have quite a few books published. Hopefully I'll even get started on this one fantasy series I like a lot. I'm looking forward to writing that. So, will you self-publish? Definitely.
I want to do both.
Yeah.
I want to traditionally publish and then like in whatever order happens, but
depends on what God throws my way. Like I want to, like as of now, I'm indie publishing. That's one reason we started the channel, was in the blog to get a following.
Well, you need a following still,
yeah,
considered by traditional publishers, but
it's different for like us.
It's different for you.
But I just want self-publishing because I'm kind of a control freak, and I just want to have all the control and power, do what I want with my book, and nobody bossing me around on what they're doing with my books. Like, if I want this cover to be my cover, this is gonna be my cover. You can't say my cover gonna be here. If you want me, I'm not gonna kill off this character for your amusement. No, I'm not gonna keep this character alive. He must die.
Okay. Yeah, she doesn't even say yes when her best friends ask her to keep the character alive.
It's for the book's own good. Would you want movies or TV series made of your books? If so, animated or live action? What about a musical?
That is lightning.
It is.
I would definitely want a TV series. Basically, like, if you could have, like, one episode is every chapter. I've thought this through. Like, I just absolutely love the idea of having that series be a TV series. It would, and I'd have fun, like, I would definitely direct something like that. Like, if I had the chance, I would totally be in the production process.
She would be immersed in it. She'd start dressing up like the characters.
Why not?
She would.
Why not?
She'd wear her writer's hat and.
I haven't worn that thing in forever.
Oh yeah, I have a picture of you wearing that like top hat thing.
And but the serial series on the blog, that should be a musical. I know you haven't read it yet, but that would be.
I didn't even know that was. I thought it was snippets from your book. I didn't even realize until today that it was a serial series.
Communication, folks.
Yeah. For me, I definitely want my work in progress now. That would be a cool movie, possibly a series. I don't know, a mini series. So I definitely see it more of a movie. And then this one trilogy I have in the progress, I could see being a series.
I could see that being a musical.
PH?
Yeah.
No.
I could totally see that.
PH,
although
the trilogy would not be, I mean, I could see my work in progress now being a musical.
No, I could see
there is going to be music involved with that one a lot because of some of the characters. But PH, I would definitely make that, like, for those, I could see animated or, like, it'd be funny if PH would, like, my trilogy was an anime. But, or live. If I had to choose a company to make my books into movies, I wouldn't choose Warner Bros. No, I wouldn't choose Disney. I wouldn't choose Sony. I wouldn't really choose anything from Hollywood. I would go with the Daily Wire because they're making movies now and I trust them. So, not to change my book in a way that I wouldn't want to and strip away its morals, like you do in Hollywood. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, opinion of pen names. Why were we looking at each other
I
awkwardly?
don't know. Well, we kind of do have pen names.
Well, yeah, you don't think I was born with Twilight as my last name. Or Sarah as my first name.
Yeah, so...
That would be awesome if I did have Twilight. I should change my last name to Twilight. But I kind of like my last name right now. Maybe I'll marry someone whose last name is Twilight. Or maybe I'll marry someone who's such a big fan of my work that he'll want to change his last name to Twilight just so we can literally... Anyway,
that would be hilarious.
Pen names, they're definitely your choice to make.
Yeah.
The reason I chose a pen name, I wasn't originally going to really do one, was because I just realized I could change my name to whatever I wanted it to be.
She was like, I have the power.
So, like, instead of Twilight, I almost had Andromeda or Nova. But then, like, Sarah Nova does sound kind of cool, actually. I should make that into, like, a character.
Yeah, she went with all, like, the epic names. I was, like, more classy. I was like,
yeah,
you know what?
it really, our pen names really reflect on our characters. Because, like, I chose Twilight because I thought it was cool, kind of magical, fantasy. She chose hers because of, like, family history.
Yeah.
Which is just like her, honestly. Okay, we have, like, 10 more minutes.
Rush round.
Will writing be a hobby or a career?
A career.
Obviously. Why are you even asking such a silly question? Do you have a favorite type of character to write? No, I love writing so many characters. It's hard to choose one.
The grumpy old man. I love writing the grumpy old man.
Oh, she loves writing old men. Like, all of her... That's all of her, like, book things. Always have old men.
Like, they're just so wise and hilarious.
How do you two write your blog? I mean, back and forth dialogue you present it as. Do you really write your conversation out, or is it purely creative writing? Google Docs. My friend, we'll work together. We'll write a conversation out. Sometimes we know.
Sometimes like we don't like the other person isn't even there. Like, and I'll write what she would say in response, and like she'll come back and maybe she'll edit a few words, or add something in. But it's just like.
Or I'll do the same for her.
Yeah, and we do it back and forth.
And then sometimes we're both there and we're just writing.
Yeah.
Furiously writing. And sometimes we're trying to like beat each other and stuff. Or like I'm mad at her, so I like put the cursor away and I'm like, stop. Then I'll type somewhere else, stop doing this. I don't want to say that. Or whatever. So it's not like we don't exactly have a conversation and then record it. That'd be kind of
We don't actually have a fireplace in which she throws rules.
Yeah, we have a furnace. Just kidding.
An incinerator.
Incinerator. Yes, but it's very accurate.
It is.
To what we're like in real life. You guys should spend time with us in real life. No. May? I don't know. It'd be hard to because we live very far away from each other. Let's finish the writing question, then we'll go on to YouTube, and then we'll finish anything else. Why do you write? What is your one writing tip? Which is your most important plot? Okay, wait, actually, this is a bunch. Okay, number one, why do you write? Because I want to. I think we already answered that. What is your number one writing tip? Okay, for me, this is for when writing a bunch of characters. So, I have a lot of writing tips. One is put yourself into your characters. Like, add... I'm going to do this tip instead. Okay, when you write a character or like a book, something I found really cool is when an author puts stuff that they know and like into their book, like intertwine it, and they know about it really well, and they can intertwine it into their book. So, I was reading one book, and... they used fabric magic, and the author did really well with describing how the dresses, like, the fabric could like shrink, or like how it flared out, or the skirt type, or the hem or seams, stuff like that. And then I read about the author, and she actually worked with theater costuming, and so I thought that was really cool. And just put stuff you like and just intertwine it. Just have fun. It's your book. You can do what you want. For me, like, a lot of my characters, or like even my worlds, have been art based because I know so much. Like, I love drawing and doing art, or even like based in this. Like, one of my characters is obsessed with superheroes, and I was really into Marvel for a while, so I just put that in there, and I feel like that adds more flavor, that rounds out the characters, that you can even round out the plot a lot. What about you, Louise?
What was the question?
Number one writing tip.
Oh, just write. You just gotta write.
Yeah, just do it. Okay, which is more important, plot or characters?
They're of equal importance. You cannot have one without the other. Like they balance each other out.
The plot is the story. The characters are the vehicle into the story. So they're both important, and it's good to learn how to do them right. Okay, do you write about hard topics? Example, racism, homosexuality, etc. Why or why not? Yes, I do. What about you?
I don't think I have yet. I think it's important to tackle hard topics though, because you're kind of like you're shedding light on it. Like you're portraying it in a certain way. Like as the author, you have the ability to portray things in a certain way, good or bad, despite like just writing about it. You're writing it either in a positive light, negative light, or you can be writing it in a unbiased light. Or not unbiased. What's the word? Objective?
Yeah. For me, I like to write about harder, like heavier topics. Like some of my characters have messed up backstories, which is why I would not want an 11-year-old or 6-year-old to read my books.
A 6-year-old.
Because like I don't want my 11-year-old to read about one character thinking about like, some of them can. I don't want an 11-year-old to read about my character who one time tried to take his own life. I don't really want them to be exposed to that yet, but it's sometimes hard too, because like there's things I want to tackle, but I feel like if I do, like the cleanness, because I try to keep my books pretty clean, like not R-rated, like sometimes I'm kind of nervous because I don't want that to be kind of ruined, but it is important, and I like to shed my own opinion because I feel like we need
the Bible
more
isn't rated.
opinion.
The Bible,
yeah,
but the Bible is truth. So
yeah, that's a whole other stuff.
Okay,
what do you hope readers will glean, learn from your stories? Depends on the story. Don't squint. I'm just kidding.
I can't see.
For me,
what is that circle in the background?
It's probably the reflection.
It's the button.
Ring light.
It's the button.
Oh,
to say stop the video.
the button.
I can't see.
Oh my goodness, my child. Okay, so. Do you have trouble with writing character? What do you say this chapter is still about those characters? Oh, sorry. I think it's just that they can glean that YA can be written differently than you usually see it, and it can be good, not kind of boring like I've seen clean YA be in past. I said it. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Okay. Do you have trouble trying to write chapters that don't involve specific characters, and what do you do so you can write those chapters and develop the other characters? I never really thought of that, honestly. I just...
Like, if I don't like the character, normally that means I probably need to either get rid of the character or change something about the character. Because, like, I have this one character, and she can be really, really annoying, and she can get in your nerves. But I love writing about her, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just because of the situations that she happens to be in. Yeah. Or just whatever's happening to her, I'm excited to write about her. If I wasn't, I might be a little worried, like, maybe everybody's just gonna hate her and she has no purpose in the story. So you just want to make sure that you find your character's purpose in the story, and then you go with that. Like, don't waste time on characters who have no purpose in the story because they're not even supposed to be there.
Yes, that is definitely just... Yeah, I never really thought of that. Okay. How did you get inspiration for each of your books in progress?
Ooh.
For me...
I just created a new work in progress at work.
You'll have to tell me about that later. Like, I'm first hearing it. You guys heard it first, though, so...
Yeah.
Why did I look like that? I don't know. It's late. For me, it was this one, like, fantasy I'd made up with this one boy band I really like. And then I, like, made them have, like... I changed it, like, twisted this, like, fantasy for me. And then I thought about, like, this one aspect. Like, I was like, what if this fantasy goes in this direction? And then I'm like, what if I dive into that? Like, that's a really cool idea. And so then I delved into it and then got a book idea from it. And then I turned my daydream into inspiration. And then that inspiration turned into a novel. And then for one of my other ones that I kind of have work in progress, it was a lot of stuff. Because I loved that genre, I was getting into it, but also this one comedian kind of sparked the idea for me. Okay, so let's go to anything else. How did you two meet and how? Oh, wait. Okay. What inspired you to start a YouTube channel?
Oh.
To get a following?
Yeah, I was literally walking one day outside, and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do because I need a following, but I don't have one. I don't have any way of getting one. And she's like, oh, start a YouTube channel.
No, that wasn't really me. That was actually so this is the story.
Her dad.
Yeah, so she always
researches.
She always researches the books that I like read. One time I was like, hey, yes, I'm reading The Maze Runner. 5 minutes later, okay, so The Maze Runner has, I'm like, okay. So one time I got these books and this one she researched and I really didn't like it from what she gained. So I was like, okay, I returned it. And my dad comes in my room as like we're talking on the phone. And he's like, yeah, thank you for doing that, Lois. Like, and I'm like, girl, you should like make a channel, a show where you just like review books like that and give like ratings for people. And she's like, you mean we? And so we've actually had the idea for the channel longer than the blog, so that's been a bigger work in progress. Okay, so least favorite pizza topping, anything that needs cheese or pepperoni.
Pineapple belongs on pizza, I will say that.
Yeah, that's the last question on here. We have a question on YouTube, but I'm thinking we should really quickly stop this video before it stops itself and do that.
We'll answer. It'll have its all on a separate video.
Yeah, we'll do that right after I shut this one off. But thank you for watching it, and we'll be back very, very soon, like in 5 minutes.
I can see.